You know, one of these days, I'm going to be surprised by something. Hasn't happened yet, but it will happen one day. Certainly not from the Wokehammer crowd as they are now, though. Yes, folks, this should be coming as no surprise to anybody, but there was a threat of doxing and other things from Wokehammer recently to Wokehammer else, and the guy who runs the account. Now, I did, before this video, check in with Wokehammer to see, Wokehammer else, I should specify, to see if he was okay with me covering it, because I am a bit late to this, about a week late. And I apologize for that. There was a lot of other stuff going on when this initially happened about a week ago, and I missed out on reporting it. In fact, I was even late to reposting it on Twitter and just doing basic stuff like that, let alone making a whole video about it. That being said, here we are now, and I apologize to Wokehammer Elves for not covering it at the time, and I'm making up for it now, and this is still relevant. It's only a week old. I know in internet terms that's pretty old, but I consider this still fresh, and it's still indicative of true things about Wokehammer. Nothing about that has changed in only a mere week. That being said, so this happened on the 22nd of this month. And Wokehammer was posted, "Well, it finally happened, chat. I upset someone enough for them to dox me in some vain attempt to scare me. LOL, freshly made throwaway account as well and everything." And he was messaged by an account called Delete Hatehammer. Again, that's what they're trying to rebrand real fans in our community to, because we dare tell them we don't want their political ideology and activism reshaping, reforming, and perverting and molesting our very, very, very loved hobby. We tell them that on a daily basis, and so, because they want to paint their enemy as the true bad guys, they're trying to rename us to Hatehammer, even though they were also the ones to give us the title of Chudhammer. And we adopted that with pride, so they're very upset about that and they're trying to hit us with something. It's very pathetic. But yes, this account, freshly made, called Delete Hatehammer, with 0 followers, messaged Wokehammer Elves and said, "You have 24 hours to delete all your Twitter and Discord accounts, or else I'll make sure you're not only unemployed, but won't be able to sleep at night." And then the individual provided an address and the work address. So, again, this should come as no surprise, no shock, nothing like that, to anybody who's been paying even the remotest attention to this discourse. Hatehammer, the true Hatehammer, I should say, that being called Wokehammer, the regressives that they are, have been doing this for a long time. And this is not the first incident. For those of you who recall a situation not too long ago where Norn Queen Alexis doxed the NDA whistleblower from GW to GW on Twitter. She added the GW account saying, "Hey, you got a leaker," and doxed the NDA whistleblower. So this is not the first time. And even if we just go to Chudhammer specifically, this is not the first time of a doxing threat. This is a common practice done by the woke. This, also the fact that they make fake accounts and hide who they are, shows cowardice, first of all, but it also shows that they understand what they're doing is wrong. This is not some moral confusion where they actually genuinely think this is a good act if it's done to the right people. They recognize that this is an act seen by the average person as sinister, as bad, and malicious. So, creating an alt account just to make the threats is no surprise to anybody, because they know on some level they are the actual bad guys. They know they're the bullies, they're the harassers, they're the bad people. They know that. Why else make an alternative account to make a threat to someone you think is provably the bad guy? What are you afraid of? You're the good guy, right? Shouldn't this be a good act because you're doing it to the bad people? As we've been saying for years with Wokehammer, there's no such thing as bad tactics, only bad targets. And it's par for the course. This stuff is ridiculous, and it's all over something that they don't even really believe in. Again, these people are not fans of Warhammer. To them, this is not a war for a hobby space like it is for us. This is not a war for an escapist area like it is for us. This is a war of ideology for them, and that's why they're willing to go to such low fucking blows. The thing is, they underestimate us in the hobby space. They think because we see this as just our hobby, we're willing to walk away. Whereas they see it as their ideological battle, so they think they have the ethical, moral, and also, what's to say, They have the tangible backing, if you will. They think they have the stronger position. But they underestimate us hobbyists. They underestimate those of us who value our escapism, who value our spaces to go to from the daily minutia and say, no, I'm not talking politics, I'm not talking transgenderism, I'm not talking about socialism, I'm not talking about any of these things. I'm here to talk about the Imperium of Man, Space Marines. I'm here to talk about Tyranids. I'm here to talk about Orcs. I'm here to talk about the League of Votann. I'm here to talk about literally everything to do with Warhammer and nothing to do with your political ideology or even my own real-world political ideology. I want to discuss neither. I'm here for neither. And that's the simple fact of the matter. But they want to turn it into a soapbox zone. They want to turn our hobby spaces, they want to turn our escapism places into places where they can continue to signal boost their ideological beliefs as aggressively and as stalwartly as they can. And they want to go places where the eyes and ears are, and that is escapist zones. That's why they took Star Wars, because they knew so many people were happy to escape to a galaxy far, far away. And they knew that those eyes that were escaping to a galaxy far, far away were not on their ideology. They know that those voices were not being lended to their cause. They know that those people were not aiding them. And so they went to the places where the ears and the eyes were, that they wanted to join them, forcibly or otherwise. So they took Star Wars. Star Trek they took even before that, because they already had a foot in the door. Because part of their ideology was already part of that universe. Just a better version of it. And now they're coming for Warhammer. They're coming for Battletech. And they're willing to go to such pathetic low standings as to threaten doxing and to go after people's personal lives. These are people who have threatened physical violence against those in their opposition. They have threatened raping people. They threatened doxing. They've threatened every manner of harassment you can imagine. And they still somehow morally think that they're in the right. These are reasons why we gatekeep, folks. So individuals like this should come as no surprise. And thankfully, Wokehammer L seems to have been prepared for this. I mean, after all, he's been dealing with these people for about as long as me, I think, if not longer. And yeah, this is something you need to expect from these crowd. Whenever you share a picture of yourself, whenever you share a picture of your minis, these people are so psychotic, they will waste hours of their personal lives because they have nothing going on to search back and Google search and trying to find your address, trying to find your workplace, trying to find anything about you so they can threaten you with it. And again, they think they're in the moral right. So, this whole thing is something I wanted to talk about. It's no small potatoes. I don't think so at all. I think every time these people try and threaten something like this, they need to be signal boosted. In the sense of showing a spotlight on the cockroaches. That's part of why I've been making these videos lately. Because those of you who've been on my channel for any length of time know that I want to be hobby focused. I sacrificed a channel of reaction videos, even though those arguably were doing amazingly well view-wise, so I could do Warhammer instead, which gets a lot less views because it's a niche hobby. With a niche hobby with already so much coverage from other channels. That being said, I love this hobby so much, I was willing to sacrifice, doing something that, algorithm-wise and YouTube-wise and success-wise on this platform was better, so I could do something I actually loved. And it's under attack by people who are as disgusting as this type of person. As disgusting as Bitshammer, as disgusting as Dark Force Press. As disgusting as so many of these individuals tend to be. I love Warhammer. I love this hobby space. I love everyone in it that actually is a fan. Even if you believe in some of the through line of these progressives, but you keep it to yourself and you keep it out of the hobby space. Because I keep my politics out of the hobby space. I don't rant about my ideological beliefs in any relation to Warhammer. So anyway, Wokehammer Elves, sorry for covering this so late, man. Hope you're doing well. Hope these threats continue to just be little comedic things you can post about. And hopefully one day they slip up and they post with their real accounts. That way we can show in kind what we think about doxers. Again, spotlight on the cockroaches. Gatekeep, guys. Gatekeep hard. Push these people out, because God knows they never were in to begin with. So, fuck them. Anyway, that's it for me, guys. Quick video, short video. By the way, podcast coming up. I got a podcast with a couple other creators in the space. Nathan X2000 and Nico 40K. Both of them and I are doing a podcast together. So hope you guys are looking up for that. It'll hopefully be, first episode will hopefully be out in about 2 weeks or so. But that's just a guess. Right now we're only waiting on a couple assets. But be on the lookout for that. It is a hobby-focused podcast, but we will sometimes linger into other topics. We talk about Warhammer 40k as a lore. We talk about Warhammer 40k from the tabletop. And we also talk about Warhammer 40k from the community aspect, which sometimes may include talking about such fun topics as awesome people getting threatened with doxing by pretty disgusting people. Anyway, that's me, guys. Have a good one. Bye-bye.